Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates is now expressing regret for his association with Jeffrey Epstein.
We didn't assign the best people to do the work. So it's the biggest mistake I made in terms of something that was clearly within our skill set. We were clearly the company that should have achieved that. And we didn't.
Bill Gates is scrambling after his leaked secrets detonated his carefully built image. And now Microsoft is stuck cleaning up the mess. That is the real story. When the co-founder of a tech empire worth trillions starts admitting huge mistakes in closed-door meetings, investors do not shrug it off. They connect it to the brand. And once the founder looks shaken, the company's stability suddenly does too.
"I did nothing illicit. I saw nothing illicit," Gates said in the town hall meeting. "To be clear, I never spent any time with the victims, the women around him."
Let's start with the image shift. Gates was once the ultimate tech brain, the guy who built Windows and dominated software for decades. That reputation carried weight. Investors trusted it. Governments trusted it. Employees believed in it. Now headlines focus on personal admissions and past judgment failures. That shift matters because reputation is not decoration in corporate America. It is leverage.
Microsoft has plans for you, and you will not like those plans.
When Gates admitted he continued meeting Jeffrey Epstein after the financier's conviction, that detail did not stay personal. It instantly became a Microsoft headline. Media outlets always attach Microsoft co-founder before his name. They do not separate the man from the brand. So even if he is not running daily operations, the company absorbs the shock.
And no matter what Bill Gates says, the damage is done. They say you're known by the company you keep, and when you build your brand on global good, your associations matter more than ever.
Microsoft's market cap floats in the trillions. A 1% swing can mean tens of billions in value. During controversy spikes, volatility increases. Analysts write cautious notes. Investors hedge quietly. They do not scream on television. They adjust positions behind the scenes. That is how big money reacts when leadership history starts looking unstable. And here is something simple. Trust drives enterprise contracts. Microsoft sells cloud systems to banks, governments, defense agencies, hospitals. These clients care about stability. They care about governance. They care about the character of leadership. When the founder publicly admits he exercised poor judgment, it forces uncomfortable conversations in boardrooms.
Power corrupts across gender lines, and history proves that fame does not discriminate when it falls.
Now let's talk about the board exit. Gates stepped down from Microsoft's board in 2020. Officially, it was framed as a transition. At the same time, reports surfaced about an internal investigation into a past relationship with an employee. The timing raised eyebrows. Corporate governance experts do not ignore timing. They study it. If everything was clean and unrelated, why leave during scrutiny? That question lingers. Investors do not need proof of wrongdoing to worry. They only need uncertainty. Uncertainty creates discounting. Discounting creates pressure. In a company this large, pressure does not explode overnight. It builds quietly. Gates later admitted that his association may have helped rehabilitate Epstein's image. Think about that sentence. He acknowledged that spending time with him could have made Epstein appear credible again. That is not a small admission. That is an acknowledgement of influence. When a founder of Microsoft gives someone legitimacy, it carries weight.
In that exclusive interview with 9 News Australia, Gates apologizes for every minute he spent with Epstein, also denies any wrongdoing or knowledge of Epstein's crimes.
Now imagine being an employee inside Microsoft watching all this unfold. The company employs over 200,000 people. They build products, close deals, write code, manage teams, and then headlines resurface tying the founder to controversy again. Even if leadership today is different, the legacy brand still carries his imprint. Employee morale connects directly to trust in leadership. Studies across tech companies show that perceived integrity at the top influences retention and productivity. When questions about past judgment resurface, It revives old discussions about power dynamics and culture. That does not disappear just because revenue numbers look strong.
I have to say that Microsoft has truly gone crazy, and the current direction of Windows 11 tells me that it is time for all of you to go.
Let's talk investor confidence clearly. Big institutional funds use governance risk models. After 2020, ESG metrics became serious money factors. If executive history includes questionable decisions, that becomes a governance flag. Even if current management performs well, legacy issues can weigh on long-term confidence. Microsoft competes in cloud computing against Amazon. It competes in AI against Google and others. These are tight races. Perception matters. Competitors do not need Microsoft to fail. They only need doubt in key meetings. A single executive scandal can become talking points in competitive bids.
Microsoft's head of artificial intelligence says he is alarmed by the rising cases of a phenomenon dubbed as AI psychosis.
And here is the thing that keeps resurfacing. Gates said he regrets every minute spent with Epstein. That is a strong statement. But the meetings happened after the conviction. That timeline is what sticks. It fuels the narrative that judgment was flawed at a critical moment. When the founder of one of the most powerful tech companies in history misreads something that obvious, people question what else he misjudged.
But really saying critically there that the emails, the allegations in there, the unverified allegations were false, and that, as you say, he never went to the island and never met any women through Epstein. So he says he apologizes for that.
Microsoft under Satya Nadella has worked hard to reshape its culture, focus on empathy, collaboration, cloud transformation. The company repositioned itself as steady and future-driven. Yet every time Gates re-enters the spotlight with admissions, it drags attention backward. Is Microsoft collapsing tomorrow? No. Revenue remains strong. Azure keeps growing. AI investments are massive. But reputational drag does not need immediate collapse to matter. It works like friction. It slows momentum. It creates hesitation. It invites scrutiny.
AI psychosis is a non-clinical term to describe people who start using chatbots like ChatGPT, Grok, and Claude and start to lose touch with reality. I've had messages from people convinced that the tech has fallen in love with them.
The real issue is not one apology. It is cumulative effect. Board exit during investigation, public admissions in foundation town halls, acknowledgement of association with a convicted offender. Each piece adds weight. Microsoft may still dominate markets, but brand trust is a long game. Now let's move into the part that actually scares investors. Microsoft is not living in the past. It is betting everything on the future. Artificial intelligence, cloud dominance, enterprise automation. Billions of dollars are on the table. This is the moment where stability and trust matter more than ever. And yet the founder keeps resurfacing in controversy cycles that distract from the company's forward push.
People often argue with me about issues related to cybersecurity versus privacy.
Microsoft's AI strategy is aggressive. Copilot integrations across Windows, Office, Azure, deep partnerships in advanced AI research. Governments and corporations are signing contracts that lock them into Microsoft ecosystems for years. These clients need confidence. They need to believe the company is disciplined at every level. When Gates publicly says he regrets his association with Jeffrey Epstein, that regret does not stay isolated. It reopens debate about judgment. It triggers another media wave. It forces Microsoft's communications teams to manage narrative instead of celebrating product launches. In competitive markets, distraction has a cost. Here's what Gates' wife has to say about him.
And I am so happy to be away from all the muck.
Trust is currency in AI. Companies are asking Microsoft to handle sensitive data, automate workflows, and embed intelligence into core operations. Ethical credibility is not optional in that environment. If leadership history looks messy, critics use it to question the company's moral positioning. Even if operations are clean, perception shapes adoption speed. Now think about internal culture. Silicon Valley has already gone through years of scrutiny over workplace behavior, power imbalances, founder worship, executive privilege. When reports from the past resurface about conduct investigations and board pressure, they stir those conversations again. Employees are not blind to context.
Within days, users were reporting serious problems. Apps were crashing, black screens were happening, Outlook Classic was hanging, especially when email files were stored in OneDrive, and even systems wouldn't shut down properly or lost remote desktop access.
Microsoft employs over 200,000 people globally. Culture is not built in press releases. It is built in trust. When the most recognizable name in company history repeatedly has to clarify his past decisions, it shakes that trust a little. Not dramatically, not overnight, but gradually. High-level engineers have options. Top executives have options. Talent flows toward environments that feel stable and respected. Reputation plays a role in recruitment. It plays a role in retention. It plays a role in how proudly employees talk about their employer at conferences and on social media. Now let's zoom out. Microsoft is not a startup dependent on one person anymore. Satya Nadella runs the company. The executive team is strong. Revenue growth in cloud remains impressive. AI partnerships are expanding. On paper, everything looks solid.
Many of you who are users of Windows 10 are likely in panic since Windows 10 is about to be classified as end of life by Microsoft.
But here is the uncomfortable truth. Founder shadow is real. The world still associates Microsoft with Bill Gates first, not Nadella, not Azure, not Copilot. Gates built the empire. That brand imprint does not fade easily. So when headlines flare up about past conduct or controversial associations, Microsoft's name is attached automatically. Competitors quietly benefit from instability. Amazon does not need Microsoft to implode. Google does not need Azure to collapse. They only need hesitation from clients choosing long-term partners. In enterprise technology, even slight doubt can shift billions of dollars over time. Reputational damage rarely looks dramatic. It does not come with a single crash headline. It shows up in cautious analyst commentary. It shows up in shareholder questions during earnings calls.
But it's worse. Microsoft has basically been systematically exerting dominance over its users to the point that you question now if your machine is yours or if it is Microsoft's and you're just paying for it.
It shows up in slower enthusiasm during product rollouts. And here's the key point. This is cumulative. Board exit during investigation. Public admissions of poor judgment. Ongoing media cycles. Each piece alone might not move the needle. Together, they create narrative weight. Microsoft's dominance gives it resilience. But dominance also magnifies scrutiny. The bigger the company, the louder the echo of controversy. Investors demand governance discipline at that scale. Governments demand transparency. Enterprise clients demand confidence.
You are not a Microsoft slave. You own your device. Take your freedom back. Dump Windows, otherwise it will own you. Microsoft has plans for you, and you will not like those plans.
So is Microsoft destroyed? No. That word makes for a dramatic title. The company remains financially powerful. But is it bruised? Yes. Is it dealing with unnecessary reputational drag tied to its founder? Absolutely. The long-term question is simple. How many more cycles of past decisions resurfacing can the brand absorb before it begins to chip away at the clean, future-focused image Microsoft has been trying to build? In trillion-dollar markets, even small cracks matter. And when the founder keeps stepping back into the spotlight to explain himself, those cracks do not seal. They widen slowly, quietly, and persistently.